If you love Jesus and you have realized that he lived and laid down his life for you, and you want to live and lay down your life for him, that your sole aim is to please God. You want to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. This is the video for you. And I've been pressing into that thought today of like, I'm not about pleasing man. I want to please God and what pleases him the most. And so I was listening to this sermon this week by Veech, and it just really hit this home to me and brought me back to a lot of verses on like what pleases God. So like listen to this because it's so good.
The eyes of the Lord. Have you come to the realization yet that you can't impress God with anything but your faith?
Gosh, like so often I think I can please God by like going to church and doing all these works, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to this idea that what pleases God most is faith. We're saved by faith and we live by faith. It all revolves around that point. And it brought me back to this verse in Hebrews 11:6. Let's go to it because it's a golden verse. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Man, so press into faith because that's what pleases God. Like you can't please God without it because you got to believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him. And this verse plays out in a couple different areas of scripture. And the first one being Matthew 8:10. So the context is the centurion has a servant who's dying and he comes to Jesus and he's like, "Hey, can you please heal my servant?" And he goes furthermore of like, just give the word and he'll be healed. I know that at your word, angels are dispatched because like me, I'm a man in authority. And when I say, these servants go forth and do. And I know that when you say in the unseen realm, angels go forth and carry out your word. And in Matthew 8:10, it says, when Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to those who followed, "Assuredly, I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel." Like, I want to be a person that has such great faith that God marvels at my life. He sees the impact it's having, and he's like, wow, you please me so much. And then contrasting the centurion's faith, in Mark 6, verse 6, God marvels at unbelief. So Jesus is in his hometown. Verse 4, it talks about a prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, and in his own house. Verse 5, now he could do no mighty work there except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and healed them. In verse 6, he marveled because of their unbelief. Then he went about the villages in a circuit teaching. I don't want God to be up in heaven marveling at my unbelief. I want him to be up in heaven marveling at my faith, that I took him at his word. And kind of the capstone verse of this all, when Jesus says in John 6:29, Jesus answered and said to them, "This is the work of God, that you believe in the one he has sent." So today, like, that is the question. Are you going to believe God, believe the one he has sent, and believe in his word?